17. Black celebrities who have schizophrenia but you didn't know. Bobby Bland, Donny Hathaway, Eddie Floyd are shocking names associated with the pinnacle of America's soul and blues music world. You will be shocked to hear their stories about the deeply hidden psychological corners and the schizophrenia kept concealed behind the dazzling spotlight. What made the entire American nation utterly shocked is exactly how these legends had to fight entirely alone in the darkness right as they reached the peak of fame. The fifth character will leave you completely unable to believe it. We are our memory vault, your companion in this video. If there are any details you would like to contribute, please do not hesitate to leave a comment below so we can improve ourselves every day. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and turn on notifications to be among the first to watch our newest videos. Now let's start right away with the very first figures. Bobby Bland. Whenever the name Bobby Bland is mentioned, global music enthusiasts and dedicated historians instantly remember a monumental pillar of the blues and soul genre who possessed an incredibly warm, smooth, and mesmerizing vocal tone. He meticulously built a brilliant and highly respected musical career spanning multiple glorious decades, successfully capturing millions of audience hearts across the globe through deeply soulful melodies that touched the ultimate depths of human emotion. His tremendous success is not merely measured by the countless blockbuster hit records he sold or the grandiose touring schedules he fulfilled across America. It is also defined by his solid, undeniable stature as one of the most profoundly influential artists in 20th century music, leaving behind an invaluable artistic legacy that continues to inspire future generations of singers. Yet deeply hidden behind that radiant golden glory lies a profoundly tragic, hidden corner as he had to silently combat sudden episodes of psychogenic amnesia alongside severe debilitating psychological exhaustion. The terrifying and overwhelming pressure originating from endless all-night touring schedules, coupled with the haunting perpetual fear of being exposed to the public as illiterate, pushed his fragile mentality right to the perilous brink of absolute collapse. The devastating peak of this illness arrived during critical moments, right in the middle of major sold-out stages. Bobby Bland would suddenly fall completely silent, drop his microphone to the floor, and entirely forget his own identity or where he was. During such terrifyingly quiet times, his loyal band had to instantly accelerate the musical tempo, playing prolonged instrumentals to seamlessly conceal the heart-wrenching truth that this towering musical monument was standing frozen in utter bewilderment, entirely helpless against his own betraying mind. The dedicated team at our Memory Vault firmly believes that Bobby Bland's heartbreaking story serves as a deeply poignant testament to the exorbitant and often unbearable price of perfection imposed upon sensitive artists by the ruthless entertainment industry. It is profoundly painful and thought-provoking to realize that the glittering stage lights, which seem so glamorous to the public, sometimes function as cold, unforgiving cages imprisoning the most fragile and beautiful souls. We immensely cherish his extraordinary God-given talent. Yet we simultaneously feel profound regret that immense societal pressures never permitted such a great legend to openly show his human vulnerability and experience complete, compassionate healing. Donny Hathaway. Donny Hathaway was universally celebrated and highly revered as a genuine musical genius, a supreme soul vocalist who possessed a miraculous inspirational ability and an innate, brilliant, harmonic intuition. His illustrious career was deeply intertwined with legendary timeless duet love songs performed alongside the iconic Roberta Flack, bringing home numerous prestigious awards and capturing the absolute unwavering affection of golden generation music lovers everywhere. The deeply emotional compositions he masterfully wrote and passionately performed not only carried enormous commercial value, topping charts nationwide, but also fundamentally redefined the modern standards of the R&B genre. His unique velvet voice and exceptional piano skills successfully cemented his noble name as an immortal, untouchable icon in the rich history of American popular music. Nevertheless, lurking menacingly behind that heavenly, unparalleled talent was a gentle soul intensely tormented by an overwhelmingly severe and terrifying case of paranoid schizophrenia. Donny Hathaway regularly confronted extreme debilitating panic attacks, firmly believing that unseen invisible forces were actively conspiring to manipulate his mind and permanently steal away his precious voice. This vicious, unforgiving illness continuously eroded his physical strength and mental sanity day by day, gradually plunging him deep into a terrifying, inescapable state of isolation right in the very heart of the bustling, crowded city of New York. The glorious life of this major, universally beloved artist eventually closed in the utmost tragedy when he suddenly passed away from a devastating fall from a high-rise hotel window, leaving behind boundless, unutterable grief and an unfillable permanent void for the entire global music community. From the deeply empathetic perspective of our dedicated team at our Memory Vault, Donny Hathaway's heartbreaking departure is not merely a massive, irreplaceable loss to the music world, but also a painful, necessary wake-up call regarding the historical lack of psychological support systems for artists in the past. History was far too ruthless and demanding by solely exploiting his heavenly, rare talent while completely ignoring the desperate, silent cries for help echoing within his troubled soul. Donny's ultimate musical greatness shall forever be respectfully etched in our collective memory. Yet his personal tragedy will continuously remind us of the vital, undeniable importance of understanding compassion and actively safeguarding mental health for highly sensitive, incredibly gifted artists. Eddie Floyd. Eddie Floyd majestically rose straight to the absolute pinnacle of global fame, thanks to his exceptionally explosive performance energy and his truly outstanding songwriting talent under the legendary, prestigious roof of Stax Records. He proudly stood as the brilliant mastermind behind countless timeless, unforgettable songs that effectively defined the entire Southern soul music movement. Lifting his respected name high across various international music charts and thoroughly captivating millions of youthful, passionate listeners. His incredibly bright career shone radiantly with tireless, sold-out tours spanning major historic musical cathedrals across both America and Europe, firmly cementing his solid stature as a major international star who wielded a profound, lasting influence over golden-era popular music culture. Yet quietly hidden behind that seemingly endless, boundless stage energy lay a physical body and a fragile mind that were completely depleted due to unimaginably dense touring schedules and the tragic reliance on stimulants meant to artificially maintain his stage euphoria. Eddie Floyd gradually began experiencing highly severe, terrifying schizophrenic symptoms, most notably highly dangerous and overwhelming command auditory hallucinations. There were deeply alarming nights during his European tours when he suddenly panicked without warning, casting everything aside to desperately flee into the freezing, unforgiving night because he firmly believed the loud voices inside his head were announcing the impending apocalypse, and that only he possessed the power to save humanity. This severe, undeniable psychological breakdown ultimately forced his record label to abruptly cancel the entire highly anticipated tour and thoroughly conceal the painful truth beneath a convenient, fabricated cover story termed acute bronchitis. The observant team at our Memory Vault deeply feels that Eddie Floyd's untold story nakedly portrays the terrifying, soul-crushing pressure of relentless intercontinental tours upon the incredibly fragile psychological state of a dedicated artist. It is truly frightening and deeply saddening to observe how the bright, blinding illumination of public fame can burn away a human being's sanity so rapidly and mercilessly. We deeply admire his incredible, enduring vitality in successfully overcoming life's darkest tempests to eventually step into a peaceful, highly deserved old age, while extracting the profound universal lesson that adequate rest and mental wellness must always take absolute precedence over any form of fame. William Bell. William Bell proudly stands as one of the essential foundational pillars who successfully established the classic, highly distinctive soul sound of Stax Records, celebrated widely and passionately as a truly gifted singer and songwriter. His deeply emotional, highly resonant compositions and his masterful stage performances significantly contributed toward laying the primary unbreakable foundation for the entire Southern soul music genre, securing absolute, unwavering respect from harsh industry professionals and devoted lifelong fans alike. His beautiful career eventually reached a state of full glorious maturity, featuring enduring musical legacies that effortlessly withstand the harsh test of time, asserting the noble stature of a true dedicated artist who masterfully utilized his music to connect kindred-searching souls within a highly turbulent, ever-changing American society. The profound, unimaginable tragedy of William Bell's personal life struck forcefully following the sudden, devastating death of his incredibly close friend and musical brother Otis Redding in a catastrophic 1967 plane crash. The overwhelming, paralyzing shock of this immense loss, which vastly exceeded his psychological coping threshold, drove him deeply into a severe, prolonged state of reactive psychosis, accompanied by haunting, persistent visual and auditory hallucinations. Throughout an extended, incredibly dark period of his life, he completely confined himself within isolated, silent spaces, meticulously preparing two-plate dinner settings every single night. He would sit converse and laugh heartily with an entirely empty chair because he genuinely and firmly believed his departed beloved friend remained physically present right beside him. His highly concerned band colleagues had to quietly, respectfully assign daily shifts to clean up his leftover-laden apartment, desperately trying to protect his public reputation and his fragile privacy. From the highly empathetic perspective of our memory vault, William Bell's deeply poignant story reflects most genuinely the agonizing, complex nature of profound human sorrow when an individual simply cannot accept the harsh reality of mortal separation. Human minds, in their beautiful yet fragile complexity, sometimes unconsciously generate bizarre, comforting illusions as an instinctive, necessary defense mechanism to somehow fill an utter, devastating emptiness. We feel deeply, profoundly moved by this incredibly sincere, yet tremendously sorrowful friendship, thereby realizing with great clarity that human warmth, patience, and the silent, unwavering care from surrounding people serve as the absolute soul medicine capable of helping shattered souls regain their inner peace. Betty LaVette. Betty LaVette possessed a highly distinctive, incredibly powerful, and wonderfully raw, raspy vocal tone that was deeply imbued with the most authentic elements of traditional soul music, enabling her to brilliantly conquer audiences across numerous historical ups and downs. Despite enduring long, agonizing decades of severe hardship suffering, continuous music market rejection, alongside incredibly harsh and deeply painful personal life incidents, she absolutely never abandoned the burning flame of her artistic passion. That incredible, unwavering resilience ultimately earned her a late yet brilliantly radiant and highly deserved recognition, beautifully propelling Betty LaVette's respected name to become a living, breathing symbol for the upward-striving will and the truly indomitable spirit of exceptionally talented Black artists. Nevertheless, in order to simply survive within a highly toxic entertainment environment that was painfully rife with profound injustice and severe domestic hardships, Betty LaVette unconsciously formed deep, complex psychological defense mechanisms by completely, entirely detaching her fragile mind from harsh reality. During the absolute most difficult, dark phases of her turbulent life, she frequently and involuntarily slipped into severe dissociative schizophrenic states. She would often wander barefoot and completely alone among silent, cold city cemeteries at the midnight hour, lifting her incredible voice in beautiful song and respectfully bowing before cold stone graves, as though she were standing on a grand, magnificent stage before tens of thousands of cheering fans. Her highly loyal, deeply concerned managers had to quietly, desperately spend their meager funds to pay off cemetery security guards and eager tabloid reporters to completely cover up these out-of-control, heartbreaking moments, utterly terrified that the shocking truth regarding her fragile psychology would permanently terminate her brief, struggling musical career. According to our Memory Vault's deeply considered analytical perspective, Betty LaVette's incredible, tumultuous life perfectly and tragically mirrors the ultimate unforgiving harshness of the traditional entertainment industry toward highly talented yet deeply isolated female artists. Her desperate, unconscious pursuit of the silent world of the deceased as a safe, unjudging sanctuary powerfully highlights reality's utter devastating helplessness against years of accumulated unaddressed psychological trauma. We immensely and profoundly admire her incredibly resilient, beautiful character, yet we equally feel a deep, lingering sorrow for the countless hidden tears and the profound agony this true legend had to swallow entirely alone throughout long, lingering years of her life. Don Cavay. Don Cavay represented one of the most brilliant, unparalleled mastermind brains, standing firmly behind the blockbuster R&B melodies that beautifully shaped an entire unforgettable golden era of American popular music. Despite originating from severely impoverished, incredibly difficult childhood circumstances that frequently required him to take on lowly cleanup and driving jobs for major established stars, he proudly rose above it all to assert his undeniable talent through numerous million-selling hit records dedicated to other famous legends. Don Cavay's remarkable enduring career was deeply intertwined with a ceaseless burning creativity, leaving behind a massive, highly respected musical legacy and proudly asserting the noble stature of a genius songwriter who remained entirely dedicated to his art, despite receiving highly inadequate, unfair financial rewards. Yet the terrifying, mind-crushing pressure stemming directly from deeply unfair exploitative contracts, alongside the exhausting demand for continuous, relentless studio labor, pushed Don Cavay's fragile mentality entirely toward total, devastating collapse. He tragically plunged into extreme, paralyzing paranoid delusions, becoming absolutely convinced that the mechanical recording studio equipment was actively, maliciously sucking out his precious ideas and musical notes directly from his exhausted brain. During a highly fateful, tragic night inside New York's famous Atlantic studios, he abruptly and shockingly collapsed to the hard floor, frantically scratching his head and loudly screaming for the recording machines to be immediately turned off because he genuinely thought his mind had been punctured by a massive, invisible hole. Record executives ruthlessly concealed this alarming, undeniable reality by secretly committing him to an isolated, highly discreet treatment facility under a fake pseudonym to undergo highly controversial electroconvulsive therapy. The dedicated, observant team at our Memory Vault deeply recognizes that Don Cavay's tragic Untold case serves as a highly painful, essential lesson concerning the rampant intellectual property exploitation within the legacy music industry. It is deeply, profoundly unjust that brilliant individuals dedicating their entire lifetimes to generating billionaire hits should be forced to endure such profound, crushing isolation and severe mental trauma. We profoundly respect and deeply honor his heavenly rare talent, while simultaneously condemning the ruthless, greedy profiteers who unethically preyed upon vulnerable artists, ultimately driving brilliant, irreplaceable minds into a deeply painful, fearful, and unnecessary ruin. Major Lance. Major Lance successfully and incredibly electrified the vibrant Chicago dance floors throughout the swinging 60s, featuring a highly liberated, exceptionally high-energy performance style and a long string of immortal chart-topping dance hit records. His massive stardom beautifully bestowed upon him a radiant glory, highly grandiose sold-out national tours, and widespread passionate adoration from enthusiastic fans across the entire American nation. He proudly emerged as a highly influential pioneering symbol who successfully brought energetic soul music much closer to youthful, eager publics, etching permanent, indelible marks into rich musical history through his truly exceptional dance talent and his incredibly captivating, smooth vocals. However, his previously glorious life took a sudden, deeply tragic turn following highly unfortunate criminal entanglements and deeply haunting, traumatizing years of imprisonment. The incredibly harsh, unforgiving prison conditions combined disastrously with a highly unfortunate past involving stimulant abuse ignited a severe, overwhelming paranoia, completely stripping away his vital connection to objective reality. Major Lance obsessively authored incredibly lengthy, frantic letters directed at local police departments, adamantly claiming that his beloved family had been secretly kidnapped by dangerous criminals and entirely replaced with highly sophisticated, pre-programmed robot duplicates designed specifically to monitor his every single action. His deeply pained loved ones had to painfully suppress their immense heartbreak, secretly and desperately hiding these highly alarming, insane, letters to fiercely protect the star's public reputation, while the individual they deeply loved steadily and tragically lost himself to the illness. From our memory vault's deeply empathetic viewpoint, Major Lance's heartbreaking tragedy lays completely bare the terrifying absolute destruction wreaked by harmful stimulants and captive, highly restrictive psychological pressures upon the incredibly complex human mind. It is absolutely heartbreaking and deeply sorrowful to observe a once vibrant dancing monument reduced to living in constant terrifying suspicion and utter terror of his own cherished loved ones. We feel incredibly deep, unwavering compassion regarding his highly bitter, deeply unfortunate destiny, and because of this story, we cherish the profound importance of maintaining a peaceful, healthy inner soul within our highly demanding modern life all the more. Garnet Mimms. Garnet Mimms beautifully and effortlessly captured global audiences via his incredibly powerful, resonant vocals and the truly immortal, heart-wrenching hit Crybaby, which magnificently dominated music charts everywhere it was played. His highly promising career during the very early 60s beginnings shone incredibly bright, just like a radiant star, proudly stepping into the very top-tier ranks of the greatest American soul vocalists of the era. His deeply heartfelt, highly emotional melodies brought immense pride and profound depth to the soul music genre, while leaving deep, unforgettable, and highly cherished impressions among the older generations of true music lovers. Yet when the bright spotlight eventually faded and lucrative touring contracts completely dried up, Garnet Mimms tragically sank into deep, overwhelming isolation inside a very small, lonely Philadelphia room. The immense, crushing pressures regarding his perceived career failure and his severe, debilitating poverty plunged his fragile mind into a highly severe, terrifying form of catatonic schizophrenia. He would frequently remain entirely motionless inside dark room corners, spanning many long, agonizing hours, his body becoming as stiff as a cold stone statue, completely refusing all necessary food or any basic interaction with the outside world. Whenever deeply concerned friends visited him, he would coldly, blankly utter that his physical body had already died, that his heart had completely stopped beating, and that his inner organs had literally turned into dust, utterly shocking and devastating all the witnesses who heard his pleas. Our dedicated Memory Vault team highly regards Garnet Mimms' deeply sorrowful story as one of artistic history's most profoundly tragic low notes, clearly demonstrating a reality where public oblivion and sudden neglect can slay a sensitive soul much quicker than any physical disease. It breaks our collective hearts completely, seeing a magnificent vocalist who once effortlessly moved millions end his glorious days trapped inside cold, terrifying illusions. We eternally and deeply honor the magnificent, invaluable musical legacies he wonderfully left behind, while viewing his deeply painful episodes as highly poignant, necessary reminders regarding the absolute compassion and continuous care owed to past prime aging artists. Barbara Acklin. Barbara Acklin stood proudly as a highly talented, incredibly gifted Chicago singer and songwriter who beautifully penned countless classic, timeless melodies for many highly famous male vocal groups of her era. Her exceptionally sharp, deeply intuitive songwriting skills and her incredibly sweet, mesmerizing vocals brought her brilliant, highly respected achievements, firmly solidifying her highly competitive, well-deserved standing in the music world. Her immense artistic contributions significantly elevated her peers to new heights, while permanently engraving her noble name among the very best, most celebrated musical talents of the past century, ensuring her work would never be forgotten. Despite possessing such immense, unparalleled talent, Barbara Acklin tragically inhabited a world of extreme, paralyzing fears regarding the potential theft of her copyrighted works by highly exploitative, greedy record labels. These deep-seated obsessions gradually morphed into a highly severe, debilitating paranoia, prompting highly bizarre, alarming behaviors, such as tightly wrapping thick black tape around her head and constantly wearing heavy industrial earmuffs whenever she visited the company offices. She would desperately hide herself under office desks, utterly convinced that the surrounding individuals were actively using advanced technology to read and maliciously steal the precious thoughts directly from her mind. Her close, deeply loyal friends had to constantly and desperately conceal these painful facts from the hungry media, creatively framing her highly unusual actions as quirky, avant-garde fashion statements in a desperate bid to protect the stellar reputation of this truly brilliant, talented artist. Under our memory vault's highly observant, deeply empathetic perspective, Barbara Ackland's incredibly difficult life realistically mirrors the highly bitter, deeply stressful intellectual property protection pressures that existed within the highly opaque, unfair music markets of the past. It is incredibly regrettable and deeply saddening that such a brilliant creative intellect was slowly eroded and ultimately destroyed amid intense suspicion and endless, terrifying fears. We deeply and profoundly revere the wonderful, truly timeless musical contributions she gifted to the world, sincerely hoping that alternative higher realms have finally granted her resting, deeply troubled soul the complete, absolute serenity she always deserved. Howard Tate. Howard Tate deeply mesmerized countless soul music lovers throughout the vibrant 1960s via his highly authentic, wonderfully raw, deep, and truly emotionally resonant vocal performances. His magnificent recordings very quickly climbed the highly prestigious national charts, rapidly establishing him as a highly sought-after nationwide musical phenomenon across many American states. His incredibly promising career began with a radiantly bright, undeniably glorious trajectory, firmly promising an enduring, highly successful, and deeply respected, high-status future amidst the incredibly competitive, highly talented musical landscapes of that unforgettable golden era. He was universally recognized as a powerhouse of pure emotion, channeling the deepest joys and profound sorrows of the human experience through every single note he sang. Ironically and deeply tragically, life harshly pushed Howard Tate toward highly devastating dead ends upon his reluctant decision to abandon the exploitative music industries, causing him to slip very rapidly into severe Philadelphia poverty and heartbreaking homelessness. His ultimate crushing dissatisfaction with the industry, disastrously combined with heavy tragic stimulant abuse, triggered a highly severe, terrifying paranoia, causing him to isolate himself inside tattered, decaying rooms over many long, agonizing days. Astonished, deeply worried friends who eventually broke down his doors discovered him with heavily injured faces and hands, desperately drawing bizarre, highly complex musical symbols on the walls, because he firmly believed his own beautiful songs were actively emitting dangerous underground mind control frequencies designed to destroy him. He completely believed that unseen, malicious syndicates were utilizing his very own beloved melodies to broadcast harmful signals directly into his mind, transforming the art he once loved into a source of absolute, unrelenting terror. Per our memory vault's highly careful, deeply empathetic evaluations, Howard Tate's incredibly tragic stories clearly and painfully demonstrate how beautiful music can tragically transform into terrifying nightmares that haunt their very creators when extreme life pressures vastly exceed human coping thresholds. It is deeply agonizing and profoundly sorrowful witnessing a once highly praised, universally adored vocalist acting so desperately simply to escape the beautiful, familiar sounds of his own creations. We sympathize deeply and most sincerely over his highly turbulent, incredibly painful journeys, firmly honoring the highly resilient, beautiful spirit that eventually attempted to conquer those deep soul tempests so bravely. Johnny Adams. Johnny Adams rightfully and proudly earned the magnificent title as New Orleans' very own tan canary, possessing a highly rare, beautifully expansive jazz and blues vocal range that few could ever hope to match. His incredibly beautiful career thrived tremendously through highly intimate, deeply emotional lounge performances where his incredibly smooth, deeply powerful voices effortlessly mesmerized the most discerning musical purists. He proudly represented the absolute vocal peaks of the American South and served as a highly dedicated, deeply respected guardian of refined traditional music preservation, consistently delivering performances that resonated with deep, unadulterated soul. His remarkable ability to seamlessly transition from deep booming lows to soaring ethereal highs made him an absolute legend in his beloved hometown and a truly unforgettable presence in the broader American musical tapestry. Yet deeply hidden behind the thunderous applause and the bright stage lights lay his highly isolated, profoundly painful battles with severe central nervous system damage, tragically stemming from years of relying on harmful stimulants just to cope with the immense stress of his demanding profession. This heavy, unforgiving abuse tragically trapped him in a terrifying world of severe auditory and visual hallucinations, forcing him to spend countless hours arguing with and desperately begging invisible, terrifying shadows hidden inside dark, lonely corners. His highly devoted tour bandmates frequently panicked, helplessly witnessing his terrifying mid-show panics, where he would softly scream or weep, utterly terrified and genuinely believing that if he ever stopped singing, an unseen malicious force would permanently and violently steal away the precious voice that defined his entire existence. He lived in a constant, agonizing state of hypervigilance, unable to fully trust his own senses, as the lines between reality and his illness-induced nightmares became completely, tragically blurred. Our highly dedicated team at our Memory Vault gently suggests that Johnny Adams's incredibly heartbreaking stories accurately and painfully portray the extreme, devastating loneliness that often accompanied high-level fame in that era. It is absolutely heartbreaking to realize that such a talented, highly gifted vocalist had to spend his final precious years constantly battling terrifying imaginary ghosts instead of enjoying the peaceful fruits of his lifelong labor. We profoundly and eternally treasure the noble, highly artistic legacies he left behind, while simultaneously mourning the incredibly fragile, beautiful souls who were forced to bear such impossibly harsh, relentless life pressures entirely on their own. Jackie Ross. Jackie Ross successfully scaled the absolute highly coveted mid-60s musical peaks while working under the legendary Chess Records, proudly releasing a truly massive, Chicago-shaking hit song that instantly captured the nation's attention. Her incredibly bright, highly promising career brought her immense fame, widespread recognition, and incredible opportunities. Yet it unfortunately came attached to incredibly strict, highly restrictive contractual limitations that severely stripped away her personal freedom. She was widely celebrated for her incredibly powerful emotive delivery, which beautifully encapsulated the true spirit of the era, making her an incredibly valuable, highly prized asset to the powerful executives managing her blossoming career. Her voice carried the hopes and dreams of a generation, establishing her as a radiant, undeniably talented star within the highly competitive soul music galaxy. However, the highly intense, relentless suspicion regarding high-tech label surveillance eventually pushed her deeply into a highly terrifying, incredibly severe state of somatic paranoia, causing her to genuinely believe that hidden microchips were forcefully embedded into her fragile body while she was sleeping. The deeply shocking, highly traumatizing backstage theatrical dressing room incidents witnessed her in a state of absolute sheer panic, using metal hairpins to desperately search her own flesh, frantically seeking to violently remove the highly imaginary, non-existent tracking implants. Her deeply terrified, highly concerned families had to covertly and quickly hospitalize her in private facilities, desperately hiding the massive scandals from the unforgiving public eye to fiercely protect whatever remained of her highly promising, deeply jeopardized musical career. The immense crushing pressure to perform flawlessly, combined with the incredibly toxic, highly controlling nature of the record industry, had completely shattered her once vibrant, deeply passionate connection to reality, leaving her trapped in a perpetual nightmare of constant, unyielding fear. Our empathetic team at our Memory Vault firmly views Jackie Ross's deeply tragic biographies as highly crucial evidence exposing the truly tyrannical, deeply harmful label control systems that ruthlessly crushed the sensitive minds of young, vulnerable artists. It is an incredible, profound injustice that the very individuals forced to act as massive profit generators had to endure such immense, truly horrific isolation and physical trauma. We sympathize deeply and most profoundly over her immense untold pains, sincerely inspiring the highly necessary modern entertainment industry to place a much higher absolute priority on mental health protection awareness for all its performers. Ted Taylor. Ted Taylor is widely and fondly remembered as a truly veteran, highly respected soul vocalist who possessed a remarkably unique, incredibly high-pitched falsetto vocal tone, dedicating his entire passionate life to touring relentlessly across the vast expanses of America. His highly impressive, deeply earned achievements stemmed directly from his incredibly fiery, deeply soulful live performances and the massive, highly enthusiastic acceptance from the older generations of dedicated music lovers. The unforgettable, deeply moving tracks he recorded beautifully electrified grand stages everywhere, definitively proving the immense, undeniable star potential of Black artists during a highly transformative, incredibly vibrant musical epic. He was a true road warrior of the soul genre, bringing immense joy and profound musicality to countless small towns and big cities alike, leaving a lasting, beautiful mark on everyone who heard him sing. However, the highly stressful, deeply contentious 1974 copyright disputes combined disastrously with incredibly harsh, physically demanding touring schedules completely exhausted both his physical body and his highly sensitive mind. His desperate, truly unfortunate stimulant abuse, intended to keep him awake on the road, quickly triggered severe, prolonged sleeplessness and an absolutely devastating, highly alarming nervous system breakdown. During a highly publicized live radio interview, listeners were deeply shocked when he featured abrupt, terrifying stops in his speech, suddenly laughing out loud and whispering fearfully about invisible controlling twin entities existing inside his head, utterly shocking the highly confused, deeply concerned radio hosts. He genuinely believed that these highly malicious imaginary entities were attempting to steal his very soul through the radio waves, a deeply terrifying manifestation of his severe schizophrenia that forced him into immediate, highly secretive medical confinement to hide the painful truth. Our highly observant team at our Memory Vault strongly considers Ted Taylor's deeply tragic mental breakdowns as highly urgent critical warnings regarding the sheer, undeniable brain destruction caused by prolonged financial stress and severe physical exhaustion. It is incredibly, profoundly regrettable that such highly promising, incredibly dedicated artists became tragically trapped within terrifying disease vortices right during their absolute peak, most successful eras. We respectfully and deeply remember his wonderful, highly valuable musical legacies, while simultaneously expressing our most profound, sincere psychological empathy for the immense, terrifying internal storms he was tragically forced to endure all alone. Jimmy Holiday. Jimmy Holiday possessed an incredibly brilliant, highly innovative ability to seamlessly blend deeply spiritual church gospel with highly modern pop elements, successfully creating incredibly influential, truly groundbreaking soul hits. His highly acclaimed, deeply respected songwriting skills significantly shaped the vibrant 60s musical landscapes, earning him massive, highly deserved critical acclaim from both harsh industry veterans and adoring fans alike. The beautifully crafted, deeply emotional melodies he wrote not only topped the charts, but also significantly shaped and deeply inspired multiple future generations of talented musicians, establishing his name as a truly vital, highly important architect of the Golden Soul era. His music was a beautiful, comforting sanctuary for many, offering profound messages of love, hope, and resilience during a highly turbulent time in American history. However, the highly tense, deeply unstable political climates and the widespread intense media paranoia of that specific era disastrously inspired highly strange, deeply alarming behaviors within his incredibly fragile, sensitive mind. He began frantically transporting massive, heavy foil packages into his home, obsessively and meticulously wrapping every single window, ceiling, and electrical outlet in a desperate, highly fearful attempt to block out imaginary, highly malicious satellite waves. He even constructed homemade, highly elaborate aluminum foil hats to protect his precious brainwaves genuinely and firmly. Believing that unseen, highly powerful governmental forces were actively trying to completely control his thoughts and maliciously force him to write harmful music. This highly severe, deeply terrifying delusion of control completely isolated him from the outside world, transforming his once vibrant, deeply creative sanctuary into a dark, highly paranoid prison where he lived in constant, truly agonizing fear of being mentally scanned and manipulated. Our deeply empathetic team at our memory vault clearly identifies that Jimmy Holiday's deeply heartbreaking story perfectly reflects the highly unstable, deeply damaging socio-political psychological impacts upon incredibly sensitive, highly imaginative minds. It is absolutely heartbreaking and profoundly tragic to witness a truly brilliant, beautifully creative mind become entirely self-imprisoned within such incredibly dark, terrifyingly claustrophobic fear spaces. We immensely and forever value his incredibly significant, highly wonderful artistic contributions, sincerely wishing that the broader public understanding of today could somehow retroactively grant his deeply troubled, highly anxious spirit the absolute profound peace it so desperately deserved. Vernon Garrett. Vernon Garrett proudly served as a deeply important, highly stabilizing anchor for the vibrant Southern California 70s blues and soul lounges, powerfully delivering highly resonant, deeply meaningful civil rights protest messages through his art. His highly respected, truly meaningful career consistently championed the often ignored, deeply struggling working-class voices, providing them with a beautiful, powerful musical platform during an era of immense, highly tense social change. He was truly celebrated and deeply loved, not merely as a highly talented, highly skilled singer, but also as a truly courageous, deeply passionate musical activist who utilized his powerful, booming voice to demand undeniable absolute justice and profound equality for all marginalized communities. His songs were anthems of hope, beautifully echoing the deep, unyielding desires of a people longing for a much better, significantly fairer tomorrow. Tragically, the immense, truly crushing pressure of constant, highly terrifying undercover surveillance, paranoia, disastrously combined with severe, highly damaging substance abuse, triggered a highly severe, deeply alarming case of Capgras delusions within his exhausted mind. During what should have been peaceful, highly loving family dinners, these highly terrifying psychological breaks sparked completely irrational, deeply frightening beliefs that his own beloved family members had been secretly replaced by highly sophisticated, dangerous robot duplicates sent to spy on him. These deeply heartbreaking, highly terrifying delusions ultimately threatened his very relatives, tragically leading to horrifying incidents where he wielded knives in sheer absolute panic, forcing his deeply terrified, completely heartbroken family to flee into the night while he locked himself away in dark rooms for many agonizing weeks. The very man who had spent his entire life singing beautifully about love, unity, and profound human connection was now completely tragically alienated from the very people he cherished the most in the entire world. Our highly reflective team at our memory vault deeply evaluates Vernon Garrett's incredibly sorrowful life lessons regarding the absolute, terrifying devastation that severe paranoia can inflict upon family structures and personal sanity. It is a truly tragic, deeply painful paradox that a magnificent champion who beautifully praised humanity's greatest virtues became so severely victimized by psychological alienation that he could no longer recognize his own family. We deeply, most profoundly sympathize with the immense, truly horrifying domestic tragedies involved, viewing his deeply saddening story as a highly historical, profoundly sorrowful, low note within the larger, truly complex tapestry of soul music history. Gator Davis. Gator Davis was a highly dedicated, deeply passionate champion of the 70s Southern soul movement, relentlessly driving his highly unreliable old cars to tirelessly tour the most modest, deeply intimate musical lounges across the South. Although he never achieved the massive, highly lucrative mainstream fame of his larger peers, his highly underrated, incredibly authentic, and deeply modest soul recordings immensely enriched the rich, highly valued musical traditions of the era. His deeply soulful, truly gritty voice resonated profoundly and beautifully with the highly dedicated, truly loyal working-class audiences who deeply appreciated his highly genuine, completely unpretentious approach to the beautiful art of musical storytelling. He was a true, highly respected artist of the people, perfectly embodying the highly authentic, deeply profound struggle and immense raw beauty of the deepest, most traditional Southern blues and soul heritage. Sadly, a long, highly exhausting history of completely unpaid royalties, combined with highly severe, deeply crushing poverty and a highly traumatizing, nearly fatal roadside food poisoning incident, triggered a highly severe, deeply terrifying persecution paranoia within him. He began completely refusing all normal, healthy food, constantly and deeply, suspecting that highly malicious, unseen rivals were actively attempting to secretly poison him to steal his highly precious voice. In his deeply tragic, highly lonely terminal days, he locked himself completely away in a highly dilapidated, messy room, obsessively and frantically copying down mundane, everyday weather forecasts because he genuinely and firmly believed they were highly complex, deeply hidden survival codes sent to warn him of impending, highly dangerous attacks. His entire previously vibrant world shrank down to a highly terrifying, deeply isolating battle against invisible, highly menacing enemies, completely stripping away his immense, beautiful talent and leaving him to slowly, tragically perish from severe, highly preventable malnutrition and utter, absolute exhaustion. Our deeply observant team at our memory vault strongly observes that Geeter Davis's incredibly heartbreaking story exposes the true, highly painful marginalization and the deep, often unrewarded grit required by deeply talented artists who are tragically pushed to the absolute fringes of the industry. His highly tragic, deeply unjust poverty and starvation-driven endings clearly and loudly demand much more equitable, highly comprehensive artist protections and deeply necessary financial support systems within the modern musical landscape. We deeply and profoundly honor his highly silent, truly beautiful artistic efforts, ensuring that his deeply authentic, highly soulful legacy will absolutely never be entirely forgotten by true, dedicated music lovers. Ruby Johnson. Ruby Johnson shined incredibly brightly as a highly promising, deeply talented beacon of hope for the Stax Records Southern Soul movement, widely celebrated for her truly immense, highly captivating vocal capabilities. Her highly intense, deeply passionate late-night Memphis recording sessions fueled massive, highly optimistic career hopes, positioning her perfectly as a highly powerful, truly rising star within the highly competitive, deeply respected R&B musical landscape. She brought an incredibly rare, highly profound emotional depth to every single song she ever touched, powerfully commanding the complete, absolute attention of highly experienced studio producers and deeply dedicated music fans alike with her highly raw, truly unfiltered, and beautifully resonant delivery. She was heavily anticipated to become a major, highly influential cornerstone of the entire label, possessing all the necessary vital ingredients to achieve truly massive, highly enduring international stardom. However, the incredibly fierce, highly intimidating competition and the truly immense, deeply overwhelming studio anxiety eventually triggered highly severe, deeply terrifying psychotic episodes within her incredibly fragile, highly sensitive mind. The absolute, truly terrifying climax of her deeply painful illness occurred when she frantically and desperately fled the recording studio into a massive, freezing rainstorm, genuinely and firmly believing that the standard, highly expensive monitor speakers were actively emitting highly dangerous, truly lethal electrical currents designed to literally melt her brain. Following several deeply alarming, highly dangerous self-harm interventions, where she desperately attempted to physically block these highly imaginary, deeply terrifying sounds, her deeply heartbroken, highly concerned family had absolutely no other choice but to seek immediate, highly secure psychiatric hospitalizations to completely protect her from herself. This highly severe, truly tragic somatic delusion completely and permanently halted what was undeniably a highly promising, truly beautiful musical trajectory, replacing her highly anticipated, deeply dreamed of bright future with a highly confusing, deeply painful reality of heavy medications and incredibly severe, profound mental anguish. Our highly empathetic team at our memory vault deeply interprets Ruby Johnson's incredibly heartbreaking story as a truly profound, highly agonizing example of the deeply tragic victimhood generated by the highly ruthless, unforgiving industry meat grinder. It is absolutely horrifying and deeply saddening that the bright, highly desired studio lights and the beautiful, highly creative processes were tragically turned into terrifying, highly destructive weapons that ultimately suffocated the minds of highly sensitive, truly gifted artists. We proudly and eternally enshrine her highly powerful, truly beautiful vocal legacies in our collective memory while extending our most profound, highly compassionate sympathies to the immense, deeply hidden, psychological agonies she was tragically forced to quietly endure. Closing this highly emotional, deeply profound exploration journey behind the highly glittering, often deceptive stage curtains of these 17 truly unique, incredibly legendary musical spotlights, we sincerely and deeply hope that our valued viewers have gained highly valuable, deeply meaningful, and truly unforgettable experiential moments today. It is our greatest, most sincere wish that learning about these deeply hidden, highly tragic psychological struggles brings a much greater, highly compassionate understanding to the true, often unseen human cost of massive, highly demanding artistic fame. We sincerely and warmly wish all of our highly cherished viewers and your highly beloved families incredibly robust, health, boundless joy, and highly peaceful, deeply comforting relaxation in your everyday lives. Please always remember to support our channel by hitting the subscribe button, pressing the like button, and turning on the notification bells so we can continue these highly important, deeply meaningful Our Memory Vault journeys together. Thank you so much for your highly valued, deeply appreciated time, and we send our warmest, most sincere greetings and goodbyes until we meet again in the next video.